Because I've dwelled on that man for years, guys. I have dwelled on him for years.
He's still talking about it.
He's still talking. He's an old man, just wallet.
It's like Hodor. It's involved in he didn't want it. He didn't want it. He didn't want it. And then he gets his own backstory, and we find out that
Why do they call him Wally?
Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid? The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names and the artwork, and finally picking out the movie you're going to take home with you. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house, but there was something truly special about riding your hoverboard down to Blockbuster, picking a movie out by hand, and watching it when you got home. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte, and joining me as always, two dudes who are most certainly not chicken. AJ Vance, Shaun Pryor, how the heck are you?
Never will be.
Nobody calls me chicken needles. Nobody.
Is there a word that someone would call you that you just could not help but respond to? Like you drop everything and be like, okay, I'm going to do physical harm to this person.
Like, oh, I have to prove my non-chickenness.
I think is that a like late 80s, early 90s thing? Because
I don't know.
I think there are people out there that are like, yeah, if you called me chicken, dude, I'd have to go after you.
Maybe.
But for me, no thanks.
It is a ridiculous premise, right? It's like, oh, dude, if somebody ever walked up to me and just had the audacity to call me chicken.
If they were like, hey, asshole, I'd be like,
If they said I was a daft prick, I would have to break their legs. I can't be offended.
I don't know.
It's not possible.
I can't be offended.
It's not possible.
You can't have a TikTok account like ours and not, be able to not be offended, really, at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, idiot, your voice is stupid.
I can't believe he said that.
I hate it too. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not a fan of it myself, but here we are.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss a classic movie that gave us an incredible glimpse into what the future would be like. The third highest grossing film of 1989, nominated for 1 Oscar, chosen by our Patreon members, and one of the best sequels of all time. We're, of course, talking about 1989's Back to the Future 2.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with The Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
One of the coolest ways to support this podcast is by joining our Patreon. You get extra perks like bonus weekly audio episodes just for you, access to a private Discord server, giving your modern day ratings for every movie we do, but also you get to vote on upcoming movies. Done a lot of movies now, and many are part of a franchise, but we've never done 2 different movies of a franchise. So we gave those beautiful, amazing top-tier Patreon members a vote. They chose Back to the Future 2 with 57% of the vote.
Wow.
Batman Returns, 20%. Three Ninjas Kickback, 10%. Ghostbusters 2, 8%. Wayne's World 2, 5%.
Wow.
I think they made the right choice there.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Sequel destinations. Is this our
Sequel destinations.
This is our first
double 2-part.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've done Terminator 2.
Yep, but we never did Terminator 1.
Never did Terminator 1. So this is our first sequel.
Yes.
So if you want to help influence the movies we review, go sign up, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. And if you're new to this podcast, we will be reviewing Back to the Future 2, scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we got to strip it away. We got to talk about it with pure nostalgia. AJ, tell us the first time you saw this movie, what your thoughts were, and what your rating is.
This is another sequence of movies that just all ran together for me for my 10-year-old, 11-year-old mind to really comprehend, right? You see part of the Back to the Futures, and unless you catch it unless you catch it in the dead of the future or the dead of the Wild West, could be any of them.
Could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere. So, but when I was a kid, number 2 was always my favorite because, oh man, look at the future. I can't wait till the future's like that. Here
Can't
we
wait
are.
till I go to hike school.
High school. Don't you say that. No, I loved it though. I loved Back to the Future too. They all ran together for me, but like when I saw them, when I saw him walking through that new hill valley, I was just enthralled. I thought the future was so awesome. The shoes and the jacket he puts on. I have the hat. I don't know where it's at though.
Oh, damn it.
I'm so sorry. I want to find it, and it will make its way to the studio eventually. But loved this movie when I was a kid. It was definitely my favorite of the trilogy when I was growing up. So I will give this. I'll give this like a 9.7.
9.7 for AJ. Shaun, what about you, man?
You died a little bit.
I think you died.
I did.
Yeah, same. I like this one better as a kid than I did the first one. I watched it way more. I remember more about this than I do the first one. However, I do like going back to watch it. I'm like, was that in the first one or was that in the second one? You know, it coincides with each other, and we'll get to all that. But back then, I'd have to say I'm right up there with you, AJ. I'm a 9.3.
9.3. I'm going to split the difference there. I'm a 9.5. Huge. I mean, I saw the first one first. I saw it when it came out. Was crazy blown away by the thought that this was going to be continued. And then we had to wait a long 4 years. And then this came out and it was everything I wanted it to be. I can't believe the future is going to be that crazy. Unbelievable, scary, awesome, funny. I definitely love this movie. I'll call it a 9.5. I did also own the Back to the Future 2 soundtrack on cassette, and I listened to it all the time. Nice. It was just the score is all it was. And, man, I'm telling you, that unbelievable music throughout this whole series.
Oh, yeah.
We already know that. We don't have to talk about it. Executive producer Bud Larsen says, when the movie came out in November of 1989, I would have been 8 years old. We went to La Crosse to the movie theater because our small town in western Wisconsin didn't have a movie theater. I was so excited to see this part of the Back to the Future series. I remember I couldn't wait to get a hoverboard. My dad's cousin worked for Mattel, and hopefully for Christmas I would get my own. Also, I remember thinking by 2015 we were going to have flying cars. I like the movie because it traveled through 3 different times in American history. Nostalgic rating would be an 8.75. That takes us to a 9.31. Ooh, you guys.
It's got to be out there.
That is officially number 2 on the list nostalgically of any movie we've done. Ace Ventura, 9.43. Back to the Future 2, 9.31.
Wait, did you say Ace Ventura?
9.43.
Is our highest?
Is our highest rated, nostalgic rated movie. Nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
Nostalgic.
Still.
We are going to strip that away now. We're going to talk about it modern eye, scene by scene. So first, we got to get the pertinent, important details of the movie. Shaun, that's your job. What do you got, man?
Produced by Neil Canton, Rob Gale, Kathleen Kennedy, and Frank Marshall, Steve Starkey, and Steven Spielberg. Story by Robert Zemeckis, Rob Gale. Screenplay by Rob Gale. Cinematography by Dean Cundy. It's got to be like his 12th, 13th movie he's done with us. Music by Alan Silvestri. Legendary.
Look at that.
Edited by Harry Kermidis and Arthur Schmidt. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. Cast: Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Tom Wilson, Elizabeth Shue, James Tolkien, Jeffrey Weissman, Billy Zane, Casey Simatsko, J.J. Cohen, and Elijah Wood. Yeah.
You just had to throw him in there.
Yeah, I know. Initially, Robert Zemeckis did not want to do a sequel to Back to the Future, but money talks, and talking gives you ideas. So after the first film was a massive hit, a sequel was pretty much guaranteed. Zemeckis, however, would only do it if Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox returned. Zemeckis got together with writing partner Rob Gale to come up with a concept for the second film. While Zemeckis was busy preparing for Roger Rabbit, Gale wrote most of the first draft himself, initially having the third act take place in the 60s, where Lorraine would be a flower child protesting the war, and George would be a professor at Berkeley.
Oh.
The writers had a huge script, which included the titular characters going to the Old West. After reading the script, Steven Spielberg remarked to Zemeckis and Gale that there are 2 movies here, and that they should split them up, so that's what they did. The writers had to write themselves out of predicaments, self-created and unavoidable. One was Crispin Glover asking for a lot more money for than he did for the first film, ultimately not participating in the film, having the writers essentially kill him off for most of the film. Although the filmmakers used his likeness, which led to Glover suing the filmmakers, the case was settled out of court, but the incident is the key case cited for the now standing rule that films need to have consent from actors if the film deems having them in the film necessary. In an interview with Opie and Anthony, Glover stated the primary reason he did not do Part 2 was a philosophical disagreement with the screenplay, saying that the characters in the film were rewarded with financial gain like Marty's truck rather than rewarded with love.
I actually disagree with that.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah, because in reality, their love generated better jobs and better relationships, which led to more money. And like, I get it, but yeah, they just were better off as a family and people.
That's true.
Which got him more money.
Positivity is what, like George knocking Biff out, and
put your mind to it.
Yeah,
you can
put your mind
anything.
to anything. Yeah, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. That's the real. Yeah.
The second predicament they had to write themselves out of was ending the first movie with Jennifer in the car. The writers wanted it to be just Doc and Marty figuring out what's going on, hence why she is knocked out for most of the first act. Claudia Wells, the original Jennifer, had a lot of family issues and could not return for the character.
Which is why Elizabeth Shue joined.
It's better. Yeah. It took 2 years for the sets to be made and for the script to be finished. Production designer Rick Carter wanted 2015 to look a little more happy than how other movies like Blade Runner had projected the future being dark and steamy.
Dark and steamy.
Lots of steam.
Yeah, just coming out of orifices.
not unlike Shaun's post-show poops.
Yeah.
All right, we did it.
We're doing it. We're having fun. We're having a fun time. Principal photography began on February 20th, 1989. The film employed new camera technology that would allow the actors playing different versions of their characters in the same shot while the camera could move, giving new life to that technique. Filming concluded, and for a 2-week period, Zemeckis was filming Part 3 one day and editing Part 2 the other.
Jesus.
Just going back and forth. That's crazy. The film released on November 22nd, 1989, and on a budget of $40 million, the film took in a whopping $332.5 million at the box office.
Wow.
Since Part 3 was being filmed while the post-production work was being done on Part 2, filming of a significant portion of Part 3 was completed, and so when Part 2 was released, the audience was awarded with a sample teaser for what was to come in Part 3.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened.
Not the first time. They actually, I think they were inspired by I think it was maybe like a Zorro thing or something like that, where they like tease.
They already had the footage.
They filmed it like back to back, and they're like, let's do that. Since they had such a bulky script and they split it up.
Next time on Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time on your movie-going experience.
Yeah. Oh.
That's it?
Oh, that's it.
You're supposed to say that's it.
Oh, see?
That's it.
Yeah. Well, up next, we go to AJ. He does the research for us, gives us the ratings, reviews, critics, fans alike. What do you got? I'm sure they loved this movie.
They thought this movie was a big old... I don't know.
Come on.
The tomato meter.
Gross. I'm sorry, we are lacking.
I don't know what I'm thinking here. Well, there's nothing. Back to the Future 3 has all the splat options. I don't know. 63%, guys. 63% on the
That's
tomato
low.
meter.
That's not fresh, is it? That ain't fresh.
It is. I
See,
mean,
that doesn't make any sense.
It's not certified fresh, but it's not a splat.
Okay. 63% takes us to the middle of the pack of any movie we've done. That is tied with The Sandlot and Uncle Buck. Per the critics. Running Man is better. Per the critics.
So they like their future better than
Hey,
this one.
Back to the Future 1 was a 97%. So that is a huge drop.
Wow.
That is a
critics.
massive drop.
That's a huge drop. Yes. A big old plop. 85%. The audiences loved this by comparison. 85% and a 7.8 on IMDb.
Ready what that's tied with? The movies we've done. That is tied with Ghostbusters, Goonies, Breakfast Club, Predator.
just pinnacle 80s movies.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right there.
Tied.
That makes perfect sense. There are some good. There's some bad. I'm gonna save that. Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. 25. Let's start at the bottom. We'll head our way up to the top. Jay Scott over at the Globe and Mail gave this a 25 out of 100. Given Part 2's quality, the final sequence, which is a series of clips for next summer's part 3, it may be a major miscalculation. To be concluded, reads the final title. Sounds more like a threat than a promise.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Big yikes.
No one's safe.
Ain't no, not even Zemeckis. 63 out of 100. The Philadelphia Inquirer, Desmond Ryan, said fans of the original should relish going back to Back to the Future, as long as they keep in mind that in movies, as in life, you can't go home again. And if you do, things aren't likely to be the same. I actually like that. If you go and you see this, which was probably not supposed to happen in the first place, you can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when people are like, you have sequelitis or something like that. You're like, you tainted the first one for me. And that if you didn't like it, that's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah.
I get it. 80 out of 100, New York Times, Janet Maslin said, Back to the Future deserves a chance to come back, especially under the cheerful, enterprising, mathematically minded stewardship of Mr. Zemeckis and Mr. Gale. Their new film isn't an ordinary sequel. It's as if the earlier film has been squared. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All
We'll just start off 1 out of 10.
Why was this made? Just let me guess.
This is let's start here. I know that this was written by somebody who didn't watch the movie.
Okay, you know this for a fact.
I have to know this for a fact. Otherwise, there's no way it should have been written. Horrible freaking movie.
Oh, okay.
1 out of 10. It's in
You
2000.
Do
you want it or?
I want it. I'm just saying, I want to preface it by you cannot give this movie a 1.
I know.
Like, it's not possible.
It's not.
3, 4, 5, maybe. It's not a 1. And you probably gave it a 1 because 0 wasn't an option.
0 wasn't an option.
Go ahead.
I would also like to keep in mind that 7 out of 42 people did in fact find this review helpful.
That's nice.
That's very nice. So Lil Bala. Yep. Lil Bala had this to say. I suffered all the way through this movie because I had read this was a time-traveling masterpiece. I don't get it. What is the point of watching 2 hours of washed-up actors quivering naked in mud puddles?
Huh?
I've seen a lot of bad movies in my life, but this is without a doubt the worst film I have ever seen. I think that if Ed Wood had directed this, he would have listed the directing credit as Alan Smithy. I think that's some sort of a...
Alan Smithy is where you can take your name off a film, and that's the name that they put on it instead.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying, because I just thought it was a horrendous joke made in film class. Christopher Lloyd character clearly rips off Christopher Walken in the cult classic Click, trying to be zany and off the wall.
Oh, wait, what?
Okay, you just all credibility is.
He just lost.
I don't even care anymore.
I don't care. Is this just a 1989 release of Satan's first film in 1894? I admit I laughed when Michael J. Fox said stuff like butt and poop, but beyond that, it was a huge waste of time and money.
Are you talking about like Faust or Haxan, the devil movie? What?
I don't know.
I think we should stricken this whole conversation from the record.
There's references that I don't care about, but I wanted to make I told it specifically because of the Click reference.
It doesn't. It's not.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Right?
I give this rating a 0.
And I find Sean's rating helpful.
Hey, 2 out of 2
Hey,
people find Sean's rating helpful. Which is better than 7 out of 42. So how about this? I like this 5 out of 10. They said that this is the worst one of the trilogy. Time-traveling mechanics and ideas that were expanded here, but with such a childish story and a horrible childish acting as well. Only at the second half is it good and entertaining again, so it deserves a 5.
Okay. least you had something of substance I could
right.
grab onto there.
You could actually explain it to me.
Yeah, that makes sense at least. So
how about this? An 8 out of 10. This is also nice. I wanted to make sure you guys knew this. This is Depeche Doobie.
I fucking love that.
2021. He said, "Hi friends, my name is Depeche Doobie.
All right.
I've watched this film, this full movie, and I've enjoyed this. This is a second part, and their visual effects and their CGI is good. All actor acting also nice, and my Insta username is at Depeche Doobie 000.
Oh fuck.
So."
Yeah.
I went ahead and made sure that we were following Depeche on Instagram. And I would encourage all of you to do the same.
Depeche Doobie. The most sensible review that we've had of this movie yet. Hey.
And it might remain that when I get to my last one.
I was watching it and they were acting and I liked the CGI. And fuck yeah, dude. I don't care.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, while we get to the rest, I'm sure Mike's probably got to be looking him up. Everybody go follow him. I'll give you a 1 out of 10. George McFly's Friends.
Sorry, and when you do follow him, say that we sent you. Like, comment on one of his photos. And
Please say that Confused Breakfast sent you to follow. George McFly's Friends. Puka, 5472. Had this to say in 2005. I imagine they wear the puka shell necklace all the time. Mm-hmm. Says, we can't use the 1960s because it's too much like the first movie. Well, here's a good idea. Give George McFly some friends. Who could be his friends? Greg Marmalade? Absolutely. Doug Niedermeyer? Definitely. Johnny Castle? Positively. Also, why can't Lorraine have 60s friends? Babs Jansen, Mandy Pepperidge, and Francis Houseman are all eligible candidates. And if you're going to give Marty a future in which he has to have he has a better life, at least give him some friends his own age. Andrew Clark, Allison Reynolds, Brian Johnson, Claire Standish, and John Bender are also eligible candidates. That's how I portray it. If right in the plot lines that harms the McFlys, at least give them some chums who will try to prevent harm to them. 1 out of 10.
Animal House and American Pie crossovers with Back to the Future?
I think so.
All right. Or no, sorry, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club?
There's like 9 different food group drugs represented in these reviews. Like one's on LSD, one's definitely high, Depeche Doobie.
Yeah.
One's just like Adderalled out. That's an array.
It really was.
There's a lot going on, guys, but I just figured since we're going to basically be reviewing what has kind of become somewhat nonsensical, might as well get some nonsensical reviews going.
Get us in the right mind frame.
That's right.
Well, my dudes, our adventures through time aren't over yet. Let's jump into our DeLorean, fold the wheels down for hover mode, and hit 88 miles per hour to head to the year 2015, where there isn't a cell phone in sight. Here we go. So scene 1, on October 26, 1985, Dr. Emmett Brown arrives unexpectedly in the DeLorean time machine. He takes Marty McFly and his girlfriend Jennifer Parker to 2015 to help their future children. When they arrive, Doc incapacitates Jennifer and dresses Marty up as his son. Marty explores the town of Hill Valley in 2015.
Automatically, I am a fan of sequels that take place directly after the events of the first one. It's super cool and it's seamless. I mean, except for the Jennifer part. But
well, and like how quickly are they immediately into the future?
Yeah.
If this was, we talk about it a lot where, you spent your money on this movie back in the day, you would have watched the whole thing. But in modern culture of like, I'll usually give 5 minutes to a movie on Netflix before I'm like, nah, like, this movie's got you right away. You're in the future. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The only issues I take are, I do take issue with the reshoots. I do, because I've watched Back to the Future, the original, so many times and watched that ending sequence so many times, that the nuances of how they do things and the way that they say things and interact with each other is like just ingrained into my brain. And then you see it and all the little differences, they catch me and they knock me off guard. And And then you have Jennifer walk in, Elizabeth Shue. And do I love Elizabeth Shue?
Yes.
I do. But it was they shoehorned her into this outfit and role so hard.
The like, especially the hair.
The
I'm just
hair.
Like, I don't like that.
I don't like
on
that.
Elizabeth Shue.
Like everything about it would be fine. And here's the thing. The redemption is they do move past it fast enough and say we're going into the future, and he says the line where we're going, we don't need roads.
And
And
now
they're
it's a new movie.
And now we're into a new movie, and I can forget about all that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
Could they have just started it from the time machine? Like, because we all know how the first one ended, right?
I don't think so, man. I think seeing like a different actor right away. I mean, I know it had been like 4 years after
It's
the first
4
one.
years, yeah.
Something. I don't know. I think that it's just so much of it. It takes place so much
Yeah.
directly after the first one.
You had to overlap.
You had to kind of, if you're gonna have a different actors portray. I think it's the only thing you really could do.
I love rewatching these movies. This is just a movie that I will never question. But when we do this show, we like to question things and think about it critically. Yeah. How did no one in the neighborhood see this DeLorean land and take off?
Except Biff.
Biff, dude, if this was my neighborhood on a random Sunday afternoon, they'd be in the Facebook private group immediately, be like, "Whose fucking flying DeLorean was that? I'm trying. My baby's sleeping. What is going on
What's
here?
going on?
Anybody
Whose
hear
car is that?
Anybody hear such a sudden gust of wind? Like, no, Jenny.
I know.
Shut up.
I know. Right now, for me, it would be like, who's lighting off fireworks right now? For God's sakes, like my dog's freaking out and my kid just went to sleep. That's
Yes,
what I'd be saying.
That is exactly. But instead, now we got this DeLorean flying in and landing, and it's kind of weird. Like we're going to talk about it a lot in this movie. Doc Brown has a lot of like rules about not being seen and like we can't alter time, but yet like he's just popping in daylight in his weird clothes, willy-nilly, just like we don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
You want me? I feel like I should just ruin this right away.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This is not the point in which Marty's timeline, his family timeline, starts the chain of bad events.
Yes.
It's when he runs into the Rolls Royce.
Yes.
So why didn't he go back to then?
It's we're gonna probably ruin this movie
Okay.
as we move along, huh?
Movie's all done.
Well,
episode's over. Thanks, right? Like
Speaking
we be done.
Speaking of Doc, like unintentionally ruining things, like he tells them in the car, he's like, "Yeah, we gotta go help out your kids."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have kids. That kind of freaks me out and also kind of spoils a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc. Like
We're married?
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
you're ruining
This high school relationship actually lasted?
You're ruining the future
It's
as
literally.
you speak about protecting it.
Why? Hey, you want to tell me what I got for Christmas this year too, Doc? That'd be great. Thanks.
You wanna
Thanks
tell
for-
me-
you want to ruin that?
You want to tell me my rating of Back to the Future Part 2 unbiasedly, Mike?
Hey.
Check out our Patreon.
No, come on.
Hell yeah.
I'm Doc Brown.
Mike's Doc Brown.
I say I'm all wise and like I'm this cool scientist.
It's
but
your
I'm really just
reviews,
fucking
AJ.
shit
We've
up.
got to do something about your reviews.
Well, did you notice too? A lot of things that when I was watching this on VHS were not very clear to me, or I didn't feel like pausing. But I did hit the pause button a lot in this viewing. Some of the detail that they went into in the future was pretty cool. The sign as here's our exit and he gets off. There's a big sign ahead that says Hyperlane Grid 4, and it says Phoenix, Boston, London, meaning that there's some weird high-speed hyper highway
We can just get to
that you would just
Boston.
drive to Boston and London.
Damn.
Which I thought was cool. Then it gets to the Hill Valley sign, and it says, "Please fly safely. Ejection seats save lives."
Oh no.
I just thought it was kind of cool. man.
Wow.
I mean, like that's a
Drive
horrifying.
safely, seatbelts save lives. Like we're into the future.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That's
20,
just a horrifying thought to me. If you have to eject in like
To
those
save your
clouds
life.
and stuff, just like slowly coming on down. People going by you and shit.
So we got to make mention. This is the year 2015.
2015.
That they're talking about it being in, and you guys remember just the absolute onslaught of Facebook and like memes and all that stuff that happened. Like, this is the
Yeah.
time. that they were talking
And
about
they
in
were
Back to
always
the
wrong.
Future,
They were always
and they were
wrong.
all wrong. And like, no, see, the thing says it right there. It's
No.
like, yeah, no, somebody photoshopped it. Please stop doing this.
Wait, Photoshop's in the future?
I think we should just do another one just to piss people off, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Just
Why
make
not?
it today.
Yeah, just make it now.
2023.
Oh, man.
July 4th, 2023. That was the day.
That was the day. That day went back.
It'll get at least 20% of people to share it. To be like, can you believe it?
I can't believe Yeah. People would believe it, and then you'd have other people like, oh, my God, stop. That'd be the same.
Speaking
like
of like the future things, they said that they got 50% right and about 50% wrong. Kind of like they don't have power laces nowadays, obviously, but they don't have hoverboards. But they do have like the Cubs winning the World Series.
They were
Right.
so close.
So close.
I think they won it in 16.
I think so.
And they were in the playoffs in 15, which was like, oh my God. I actually
yeah.
made a list of a couple things. Holograms. Like there's holograms. They got that right. Zoom calls, like,
video calling.
video calling. The widescreen giant flat television. That was kind of an insane thing it looks normal now, but think of how big TVs were in 1989. And now it's a flat screen with a wide angle, wide dimension. 80s nostalgia.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, true.
That's
80s.
complete. Yeah, that's completely back. Things they got wrong. They were talking about how the post office is not efficient, or the post office is efficient. I wouldn't say it is. Or wait, what did they say?
Weather's
I don't remember.
efficient. If
Yeah.
only the post office could be efficient as
it's
the
actually
weather.
it's actually the opposite because they still cannot predict the weather. But like you can order something on Amazon and it's at your door in one day. Cars aren't flying. They talked about how they abolished lawyers in courts because courts are really fast. That's not true. The cell phone thing to me is the crazy thing. Like no one walking around with devices and things like that.
Well, they get to like the dinner with the McFly family, and there's like the daughter, played by Michael J. Fox, has like the VR goggle thing on. Like they're all on at least devices.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
a good
They
point.
nailed that.
Like the kids, especially, are all like not paying attention to real life at all.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a really good point. Also, maybe the biggest technological miss, faxes.
Newspapers.
The fact that
Sports almanacs.
like I just think like
Who buys print anymore? You know.
everybody like somebody in that room said, "Oh man, I love a fax machine. They send it right over." In the future, there's going to be a fax machine in every room. Oh. Even the closet. Like, what?
Just in case you're grabbing your ties out of the closet and you need to grab that fax right away.
It's like
It would be so hard to predict. Like, what if we had to predict how far in the future was that? 30 years?
30 years.
What if we had to, like, right now, actually for a movie, say, what is it going to be like in 30 years?
True. I mean, I think it's just we're gonna be dead.
Hopefully.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, scene 2.
Well, anyways, Back to the Future 2 is a fun movie.
I don't want to be around anymore.
okay, so speaking of like the holograms when he goes into Cafe 80s, I think Michael Jackson Max Headroom thing is my fucking sleep paralysis demon. Oh my God.
I think it's Ronald Reagan and the other guy just battling it out. You must have the special.
Can I just get a Coke or a Pepsi? Was it
A Pepsi?
Yeah.
Dude, having Michael Jackson reading off
Beef, pork.
the 80s enchiladas. Your choice of beef, pork, beans, or rice.
Oh, that's give me goosebumps.
Terrible. The Max Headroom thing is really, really creepy to me.
Yeah.
But I wish that soda bottles looked like that now.
I know. Why didn't
don't
they do that?
I love that so much. The Pepsi bottle that just pops up out of nowhere, I want that.
Is that your
for
pop?
sure? No.
Okay. Then,
No.
then we won't touch the button then. Jeez. I guess you can't have it.
I guess you can. Okay.
Young Elijah Wood playing video game boy.
Yeah.
It's
Kind of
a
fun.
baby's toy.
Kind of fun. Elijah,
You
come
gotta
on the
use-
show.
You use your hands? It's like a baby. So it's like, how would you play? How do they play video games? Their thoughts?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's
They-
probably
I
why
know
they
they all
don't
have
have
the-
cell phones is because it's all inside of them.
They got VR. and stuff that they're doing, and then like the microchip implants, like when they talk about that stuff.
It
too.
has to be, dude. Was that his first role? I think that's
so.
his first credited role, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Man.
I have to ask this though before we jump further in. What's the point of leaving Jennifer in the alley, guys?
Couldn't she just stay inside the car?
Why not just leave her in the car?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's one of my gripes about it too, where it's just like, I mean, I know they try to write themselves out of it, but she is pretty useless in this movie. Like throughout the whole thing, even almost.
It's just a catalyst to chase. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things of like, she does kind of get lost, and we have to. Why does Biff get in late? But to me, it's just like you could have just had Elizabeth Shue just pretending to be out in the passenger seat of the car, and she wouldn't even be on the screen that much more.
She could have fainted because the DeLorean showed up, but unfortunately, they had already written this. Like that's how one ended was they get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, so like they couldn't write themselves out of that because they're like, shit, she's in the car.
They can't write her out. However, we're just going to leave her in the alleyway.
And then that will allow us to show more cool futuristic things at the house.
Yeah. That's really it.
But also, like, this seems like a lot of risk involved to try to change the McFly family. Like, maybe just be better parents, or like just be better people, or don't get so mad about someone calling you chicken.
Maybe that's it, huh?
But instead, they're going to risk the time continuum and fucking up the entire universe to try to like keep his kid out of jail. His kid's still a fucking shithead.
Right.
And he's just going to do something different.
Yeah.
He didn't go to jail.
His son is still a moron. That's why I say this is not the point. This is
Marty's fault.
Yeah, this is not the point where you need to go back to and change this little thing.
Yes.
You need to go further ahead. And that's why I say the Rolls Royce was where it needs to be.
That's true.
But
man.
it's like I don't know. Like you say, that doesn't change his kid from being a mess up.
Marty's the one that needs changed.
Right.
And now that you're saying all this to me, like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it is sort of maybe even like kind of a lazy like first thing to get us into this. Like, oh, we got to go back. We got to go to the future to fix because your kid's a fuck up.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of lame if you think about it. And like the real plot doesn't start until the Rose or whatever what he runs into, right?
Right. But technically, that's the moment in time.
Yeah.
But like, and he cares so much about the McFly family,
right,
that he's willing to alter everyone else's. Like, think about it's about to happen here in scene 2, the Tannen family.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about them? Who cares about Griff? His life is now different.
And take it right back to exactly.
Yeah.
And take it right back to what you said. What you said about this, Doc has all these rules, but he's abusing his own rules specifically for his own the personal gain of his friend Marty.
Maybe he's gone back in time multiple times to keep changing moments in time for Marty.
I mean, you would think like if you're like you probably get addicted to this if you're a doc, you know, like, oh, I can change this little detail, or like I said something wrong in this conversation, I'm gonna go back to that and fix it, you know, like that, like those little things, and he's probably fucking it up every time, you know.
It's like that. It's like that's why I love Rick and Morty so much, is because it really was based off of this. But there's that episode that won an Emmy. That particular one where Morty gets the button that he can keep starting over again. So he keeps learning how to make things, but then he goes like 30 years, but then someone accidentally hits the button and he starts back over again. It's like one of the most unbelievable, heartbreaking, funny TV show moments I've ever seen. But it's like this. I'm assuming Doc probably has fallen into some sort of weird thing where he's just changing shit all the time.
Yeah.
And we just don't know because we're Marty in this scenario. We're just like, oh, we're right here.
Yeah. I just, it's really, really hard to wrap your head around, you know, just because it's this particular moment in time starts a chain of events that ruins your family. And it's like, well, maybe that's for the greater good.
Yes.
Maybe the McFlys just aren't worth saving, Doc.
We've already changed your dad.
There's a
and
thing.
You're still a piece of shit.
Maybe if you hadn't changed his dad into being a good person and given them this good life, then Marty wouldn't be sort of spoiled, and he would have worked harder in his life, so that way his kids would have been better people.
I don't know if this saying was invented maybe a year later in 2016, but you can't fix stupid. Maybe that wasn't in the vocabulary around at the time. Like, you just can't fix idiots in your family. Sometimes they're just fuck-ups because they're fuck-ups.
And the last thing on this is it's also, I think, not my favorite writing plot device to just, they wrote that in for this new two-parter series that he just gets riled up every time somebody calls him a name.
It was never a part in the first movie, was it?
It really wasn't. It was just the fact that he might have been a little bit of a hothead, but that he just didn't take any shit. Like when he gets in that thing with Biff in the
1955 lunchroom
in the cafeteria.
There's some moment of that is in there, but not the chicken thing, though.
Not the chicken thing. It's like he calls him like a butt, and he just says, "Leave him alone." And he says, "Or what?" And it's not. He doesn't call him a chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I just feel like it's another plot device that they wrote in. They just we got to have a catalyst for this.
One last thing, Jaws 19, directed by Max Spielberg. Can't wait for it. I'm excited. I want it in my veins right now.
And the shark still looks fake.
Yep.
We'll talk about it on the Patreon episode, but there's a list of all the Jawses. Like there's an actual list of them.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like of even like the unofficial ones, there's a lot.
Like Jaws 17's like in outer space or something like that. It's pretty good. All right.
Jaws finds love or something.
Yeah.
Scene 2, pretending to be Marty Jr., Marty turns down Griff's proposal and a subsequent hoverboard chase ensues. Griff and his gang are arrested, saving Marty's future children. Doc discovers Marty's purchase of an almanac and throws it away. Unfortunately, Jennifer was picked up by the police and taken to her 2015 home.
Jaws lost in New York. I do like the subtle difference of Marty's son. Like he's got like different teeth.
The teeth.
It does kind of work for me. And
they changed his eyes too.
They did?
His eye color's a little bit different.
Okay, cool.
Him and Griff, both of their eyes were different colors.
They're brown instead of, I think, blue.
Yes,
is what they are. Yeah,
right on. Yeah, it works for me. I thought like his acting especially too was just like, yeah, he seems more clumsy, seems younger, seems stupider. You know,
seems drugged.
seems
which actually makes sense because
unhinged.
apparently he did get drugged with the sleep inducer by Doc.
That's right.
So, like, was he coming out of this sleep drug and coma kind of thing? Pepsi, thank you. Or is that just how he is?
And what do they say? Like, there's a drug that they kind of keep referencing things when they get to like the neighborhood, Hilldale. What do they keep saying? Trank heads.
Yeah, like tranquilizers.
Yeah, getting tranked and like all that stuff.
I want to get tranked.
Let's get tranked, bro. Let's get tranked for Patreon and do an episode.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. But that's again, those are the references I'm thinking of. Like maybe that's what he just does. He's just kind of a stoner almost, the future equivalent of a stoner.
Yeah. The whole chase scene is, I mean, it's the first one over again, just in the future. But the hoverboards are a cool new added thing, and like even make the making of this thing, they just use magnets for like the more straight on shots of like him throwing it on the ground. He just threw it to a big pile of magnets, so it would just kind of stay. And then all the other things were just like them on wires, obviously. And I do remember there's one first making of this, and Robert Zemeckis is like, with the new toy line of hoverboards hasn't been out yet, but they gave us early access to it. Like he was teasing like they were going to be real, or they are
said
real.
Something like the Parents Guild has been fighting our release, so we have them, they're made, we just can't announce them or release them.
Yeah.
And he made it seem like it was fucking real.
What an asshole.
Weren't people? And then like people were like writing Mattel and like going to visit him, going, "We need those."
Yeah.
Like, Mattel's like, "What are you talking about? You fucking idiot!"
I don't know why he did that, but I love it if it's a troll.
The first original troll.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be so good at TikTok.
I got to talk about Griff's board. It's called the Pit Bull.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys hear what it was supposed to be originally called?
It was a Mad Dog.
It was the Mad Dog.
They should have done it.
They should have kept it.
They should have done it.
It would have been a great little reference, and it wouldn't have been near as obvious as I think they probably thought. But I have to think about his hoverboard and like the commercial that they made for that. And it probably was like the Crossfire commercial for Border. It's like, Pitbull, you and latch up to 3 of your best friends to go for a joyride. It's like, oh yeah, Pitbull. Ah.
Yeah. Creep out your sister.
Creep out your
with
sister.
a powered hoverboard.
Blast past your sister and her stupid friends with 3 of your best friends.
Hop on, Scotty, Mitch.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Latch on.
It goes over water because it has power.
It has power. Jason's, what's his name? Jason Scott Lee, who you would recognize him if you looked up some of his roles.
He's the one that laughs. In
He's the one
background.
that does that. Oh my gosh, though, like that. Those supposed to work on water
unless you got power.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
Guys, I have to. I know it's maybe cliche to say this, but for me, it's Griff, and it's because I love all of the Biff Tanners in this whole trilogy. I love Mad Dog. Oh, I love Mad Dog so much. I love old Biff. I really actually like young Biff a lot more.
Yeah.
In part 2, Griff doesn't do it for me.
What are the fucking noises he's moving around? Like, I hate the robotic. I can't stand it, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Circuits.
Yeah, it's like he's a part cyborg. Is like what they're trying to get across.
When he stands up.
Yeah,
and he goes,
I'm like, I don't get it, and I hate him.
yeah,
I'll punch him.
he's such a terrible antagonist.
Yeah.
Like you hate him so much.
I'm gonna beat you up. Shut up.
Hey, Gramps!
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my punchable face.
He's the squeaky devolved version of like
he really is
what
man.
it was. But I think I'm right there with you. Or it's the wallet guy. I think it's the wallet guy for me.
I like the wallet guy.
He just take his wallet. I think he took his wallet.
Did he take his wallet? I think he took his wallet.
I
Did
think
he
he
take
took
his
his wallet.
He took your wallet.
The wallet guy is my
I like
punchable.
that guy.
He pisses me off so much. He just take his wallet?
See,
I think he took his
this
wallet.
is the danger of
Hey,
going,
I think he took your wallet.
This is the danger of changing things in the future or the past. You're gonna fuck with someone's mind like that. He's not ever gonna be able to let this down.
He will never let this
He's
down.
going
Tell
home.
stories
He's going home to his parents and be like, that guy took his wallet. Mom and Dad, I saw a guy's wallet getting
Oh
taken
my
today.
God, I was there because there wasn't a lot of things like going back, that kept your interest like this type of stuff. He's definitely going around to be like, oh, I was there when he knocked him out. He knocked him out cold, but then a guy ran up and he took his wallet. Thanks, Sylvester.
I was at the farmer's market today, and I was buying some farmer stuff. He's like, oh, well, that reminds me of the time I saw some guy get his wallet taken. I'm pretty sure I did. There was witnesses, and they didn't see it, but I did.
Suffering succotash.
We gotta
What do
talk.
you do for a living? Oh, I sell wallets. I sell wallets.
I don't want to punch him. I like him a lot.
I'm a walleteer.
I like him a lot, dude. At that point, I would have loved if they turned back. He looks away and he goes, hey, you took his wallet. And he turns back around and goes, I think he took his wallet.
I love it.
If they would have shown everyone was already gone. And he was just, he's like, oh.
I should go too.
I mean, there's someone inside that wants to hear this story. Never in a million years did I think we would laugh this hard about the wallet guy.
Wallet guy. Oh,
I'm still
so
not
glad.
punching him. I disagree.
I
not
disagree
punching him.
too.
It just made the whole episode for me because I've dwelled on that man for years, guys. I have dwelled on him for years.
He's still talking about it.
He's still talking. He's an old man, just wallet.
It's like Hodor. It's involved in he didn't want it. He didn't want it. He didn't want it. And then he gets his own backstory, and we find out that
Why do they call him Wally? Well,
He took the wallet. He took the wallet. You gotta be out of your mind. I'm so glad I refilled my inhaler before this.
all right. I'm going to move this on, okay? We got to consult the Jarrett Layoff Confused Breakfast Actor Database. There's 2 people that have been in our movies 4 times now.
I got one of them.
Who is it?
One of them's not Buck Flowers, but Buck Flowers is in this, and I like seeing him. Charles Fleischer.
I don't know actually how many he's been in, but you can tell what he was in this movie.
So he's later on Terry the Auto Guy. Charles Fleischer. He's also the voice of Roger Rabbit
and Benny the Cab, I believe, from Roger Rabbit.
Correct.
Yeah. I didn't write down how many he's been in, but Christopher Lloyd, this is his 4th. Elizabeth Shue, her 3rd. There's one though. Mary Ellen Trainor has been in 4 movies. That is Ellen Walsh, the Goonies mom. Do you know what she was in this movie?
Where was she?
She was one of the cops, the futuristic cops that picked her up because she looks good for her age.
Wow.
Oh, Hill Day, we got to take her home.
Nice.
Which she's the wife of Spielberg at the time or something like that.
She worked with Zemeckis.
Maybe it was Zemeckis, yeah. But yeah, Mary Ellen Trainor is moving up our Mount Rushmore.
So
this point.
You said 4 or 5?
She's been in 4. Yeah.
4.
Would you like to know exactly what they are?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I don't have them.
That's fine.
Lethal Weapon, Goonies, and something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Did you also notice, speaking of her, I always noticed this as a kid, and I never knew if anyone else noticed it, but when Marty walks out into the future for the first time, a flying police car comes flying around the corner into the alley. I'm assuming that was the cop car that got Jennifer, right?
Oh, okay.
Just a nice little kind of foreshadowing of that cop car flying into the alley.
Man,
Okay.
like what's special about these movies, man, is that they are real. I mean, like, you know, besides like the major plot holes you have to go fishing for, I would say, to be honest, like they are pretty diligent on making sure this all works, especially if you just watch it like the one time in theater, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. And like I do like how they roll these things together. They roll shots together very easily, just like what you're talking about, and him walking out and I do love. I really enjoy how it's. I hate to use the word repetitive, but the homage to the original and how he's walking out into Hill Valley.
It's almost scene by scene too, like the way he almost gets hit by a car and spins around and just going, "What the hell?" You know, it's amazing.
I do want to take a moment because I know Griff is your most punchable, but at the same time, I have to take a moment to speak my appreciation for Tom Wilson.
Yes,
because I think I'll tell you this. I think he is the best actor in this movie.
I think he's the best
the entire series.
Yes,
in this series, because he is playing 5 different people. 5 regular Biff, old Biff,
like future Biff, I guess. Yeah.
Current day Biff.
Okay.
Griff.
Oh.
Is it 4 or 5?
Yeah, no, it'd be 5. So it's
and then
1955,
other future Biff.
1955, 1985.
Yep.
2015, Griff.
Yep.
Mad Dog. Alternate 85 Biff.
Yes.
6.
There are six different versions throughout this thing.
All very different.
And he does them all very different, and does, like, especially when he walks in as Mad Dog, he's like, "Hey, McFly." You know, that shit. Like, he does a great job, man.
really good.
And I know Griff is a super annoying character, but he does it very well.
I really think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're supposed to hate him.
It's it's not a poor acting choice. It's like we're supposed to hate this guy.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with you, man. It's like Christopher Lloyd's hard to top, but I think Tom Wilson does it. This entire series, he is a mainstay, and it doesn't work without him, I don't think.
Yep.
100%. I think it's brilliant how he does it. And then I will go back to say, well, yeah, when we get back to 50s, I'll tell you what, Biff might just be peak physical male condition for what I like how I want to dress and be. So
his attitude towards women.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying
50s.
strictly surface and physical, looks. I don't care about his
Automobile
personality.
choices,
You know, let's not.
So you're saying you're nothing like him.
Yeah.
Correct.
I want to be. Let's move this on to scene 3. So Biff takes the almanac and follows them to Hilldale. When they leave the DeLorean, he steals it and heads back to 1955. Jennifer wakes up in her 2015 home and hides from the McFly family. Life is not very good for the family, and Marty is fired from his job. Jennifer tries to escape the house, but faints after encountering her 2015 self.
I want to go back a little bit to when Jennifer was passed out in the street and the cops were like, why not just go up to her and act like it was a bender that she was on? It's like, oh, shit.
I thought the same thing.
Jennifer, there you are. Sorry, she's had some problems lately.
Hey, sorry,
and,
that's my mom.
Yeah, she's been sleeping in alleys.
He's dressed as a kid.
Yeah.
He can even be like, hey, that's my wife. Because they think she's older Jennifer. He can be like, scan me. Look, I'm
you go.
Marty McFly.
Oh, you guys
We're
look
gonna
pretty
take her
young
home.
for what? Okay, whatever. Too bad.
Yeah, that's
Here's
a
the
good call.
facts.
Movie's over.
Again, why did we even take her out of the car in the first place?
Correct.
Yeah.
That again.
It up.
just these
Jennifer's
choices.
fucking the female gets in this
God
movie and fucks everything up.
Just leave it up to a woman to
Woman
just read
fucks
up
her
a
entire
pocket
story.
hole and device.
even write you out of a script.
Damn.
If you're
You're right.
If you're talking so much greatness about who plays Biff,
Tom
Tom
Wilson.
Tom Wilson, then we got to talk about the opposite of the bad acting is the new George McFly.
Why is he upside down? I don't like the upside down thing. I don't.
Throughout my back on the golf course.
On the golf course.
I mean, this is a glaring.
I bought it as a kid though, Shaun.
Oh,
I
100%.
thought that was him as a kid,
100%.
100%.
I like the thing that another thing that works about Back to the Future is Crispin Glover as George. Like, and it's, I mean, I don't mind him being pretty much out of this movie, but I miss the
It would have been awesome. Old grandpa.
Having him, and the reason that it works and it tricks you is because they take old B shots from the original and they show those to you, which is why you said in the beginning, Shaun, why they got in trouble for making this and using his likeness, but also using his original footage. And so there's no reason why it shouldn't work for you, especially as a kid, and especially when you don't have all the facts laid out to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it works very well. And the him being upside down thing is just another little added thing of like, well, it's harder to see who he actually is.
Yeah, if he were upright, it'd probably be like,
It'd be a
"That's not
little
George."
easier. But he's upside down and kind of just out of focus and frame, if you will, in an awkward way. And you focus more on Lorraine.
they have him more in the background. Like if they're doing Lorraine is in the foreground,
Yes.
he's always in the background. It's smart, but also impractical because don't you pass out like 3 minutes from being upside down? Like all the blood just goes to your brain.
It's the
You're
future,
just done.
dude.
I have my prop.
Oh.
Give it to me.
Here's a prop.
You don't want this,
I want the pizza rehydrator.
Oh.
dude. That thing sounds like it's ripping a bong.
I knew I recognized that sound. Shit. I was like, what is that?
Oh my god.
But how? So you're gonna need little mini pizzas though too, right?
Yeah.
Well, you
I'll
got
make them.
you get
Okay.
Lunchables and you put
Oh.
them in there. Yeah.
Right. I think that's what it is.
And it comes out. It's like the Fifth Element. You put the little pill.
Do they have to?
Chicken, good.
Yeah. Do they have to order those, or can you get them from the grocery store now? Like those little foily pizza things, and what was on that pizza? It was like half pepperoni,
Half green pepper.
half green pepper.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, we've had some delicious looking pizza on this, guys.
Yeah.
This is not it. Nope. This is not it.
It looks-
It comes
good at
apart
all.
so easily. There's no cheese coming off. Like, oh yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Mom, you really can rehydrate a
You
pizza.
really can't hydrate a pizza.
Nah, yeah, just like the other sequel with the best pizza on-screen pizza of all time is Home Alone 2.
Yep.
When
Yeah.
he gets out of that limo and eats
Cheese
that pizza.
It doesn't even smoke. It doesn't even have steam.
Steam.
yeah, come
What's
Oh
your
my
prop,
gosh.
man?
Nope.
You don't want one?
Well, just skip me for now. I'll come back.
Okay. Well, you're gonna come back to it. Just
Yeah,
at you just haven't thought
You
of
do
it.
yours now, and I will.
Okay. Then I want issue number 29 of Ooh La La. I think that's a
Nice.
unique, weird. I'm not gonna look at it or anything.
Oh,
I wanna-
yeah, right.
I want to
Of
put
course,
it on
of
our
course.
wall. I mean, nothing gets me off than bustiers from the 50s.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Black and
pointy.
white
Yeah,
bustiers
just like-
of the and reading about what
It's
they
just-
enjoy on a date.
wait. It's like what?
I actually don't know how I did that. I actually don't know how I made that sound.
Fuck.
Ooh La La, issue number 29.
That's a really good one.
It's a good one.
with the sports almanac inside of
Yeah,
it.
that's cool. That's dope.
Somebody said on there too, like that magazine or something costs like $4 or something like
Really?
that. Which 1955,
What's the inflation?
that'd be like $40 some.
Damn, dude.
So, like, are you kidding me?
So he should have been pretty mad
Yeah,
about that getting taken.
yeah, he absolutely should have been.
The bat extender. The extender bat thing.
What's that? The
bat it's just
extender.
You extend it.
How do you extend? How do you make it extend,
well,
Sean?
you push the button and it's like
And
it goes.
you just kind of
Yeah.
Pull it out.
Get it out.
Okay.
Get it out that way.
Great, awesome, yeah, real good stuff.
Great audio content.
You know, for what they did, for what they did get right with this giant widescreen TV, why do we not have the option yet to have this mega picture-in-picture
I don't know.
where you can have
all these
6
channels.
different channels all at the same time? How is that not a thing?
I don't know how it's not a thing. Like that's crazy to me that we haven't figured that out, or like people haven't done it yet.
2 more things that I noticed I never had. One of them was a commercial. Did you see the top right commercial? When he goes, channel 64, 42, the top right was a commercial. It was called the Super Inflatable Tit. And it was boobs that, like, you wear them and your boobs get bigger.
So is that what Lorraine has in the future?
Maybe.
Oh.
Well, she was in the past, but...
Oh, yeah.
Also, the address of the Hilldale sign says Hilldale, the address of success, but it was spray painted on. Did you catch that at all?
Helldale?
No, it said, it might have said Hilldale, I don't know, but it said the address of success. It said suckers. So instead of the second C, they did a K, and instead of the first S at the end, they did an R. So it said the address of suckers. I never noticed that shit.
I didn't either, and like I was always looking at this, and I never put it together. Like, this is a rough neighborhood.
They keep saying it, but you never catch on to it, because earlier Jennifer's like, I live in Hilldale?
Yeah.
Oh, Hilldale.
Right.
Like, it must have been a really nice neighborhood, but not now.
As it was being built, it was a nice neighborhood,
Yes.
but then like the years go on and it just kind of dilapidates, and this is apparently not a nice place to live anymore, even though they have like fresh fruit that can come down from like the
Everybody's
table.
got that.
Oh,
Everybody's
got
too.
that. In fact, you don't have the nice fruit.
Yeah.
You don't have the dragon fruit and kiwis. You've got grapes and, tomatoes that taste like cigarette butts. So
Hasn't Flea been in a movie we've done?
Flea was also in a movie, and I wish I could remember what it was.
Yeah. But he's here.
He's here. He's
right.
great.
Hey,
I like him.
McFly.
We do have to talk about this, where apparently this, Shaun, you're going to know way more about this than I do, but this is the first film to accomplish interaction with the same actor on screen as 2 different characters. And for me, there are so many noticeable moments, but the first time I went, oh my God, how did they figure that out, was younger Marty and older Marty at the dinner table, and he's pouring juice into the cup of younger Marty. Like, they're not just on the same screen at the same time. They're exchanging items together on the screen. Unbelievable that they got this to do it, and it still looks perfect.
It does, and I honestly like the way that people explain this technique. I'm still just like, I don't know though, but like they essentially, I think what they did was they isolated like a part of the frame.
It's like a third of it, or
Yeah,
something, right?
they took it in like thirds or fourths, however many characters were going to be on screen, and they isolated that, and then they shot that separately and just kind of superimposed the film on top of each other. If that makes sense, I hope it did, but like that's as much sense as I can make of it.
The easiest point to really break it down, or to make it make sense, if you will, is really Biff in the garage.
Dude.
Because
True.
they split it with the windshield, right? That middle bracket of their windshield, and you have Marty kind of ducking behind the Biffs, and then there is a point, like in a pre-remaster or something, you can see
His hand
Biff's
disappears.
hand disappear, and they also, the magazine throw is not as great in the remaster.
Right.
So, and again, I know I've said this before, if you can watch these movies pre-remaster or at least like standard definition, do it, because I think it helps keep you in the details of the movie. It helps keep you locked in. Whereas makeup and some of these special effects do tend to get a little bit of lackluster, if you will. But the fact that they're interacting so closely and so well together is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is.
That was my second of 3 spots. The third one being when Doc's in the 50s and he hands a wrench to himself.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, now that you understand that there was a
The
pole
pole there, yep.
but still it's fucking perfect.
It is.
It's flawless.
It's such good like staging too. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they had like just like an extra or like a stand-in do the actual stand-in Doc's part,
Yep.
and then they just took him out and replaced it.
And said
But
you got to have your hand at this level. It's genius.
it's quite simple when you kind of break it down, but it's also like it just looks magical. It's just
It is,
magic,
man.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next scene, I'm wondering if you could help me out this. Well, first of all, how does Biff know how to drive the DeLorean, and how does he know to go back to 1955? That's never been explained, and I've always wanted to know that. But wouldn't the future have immediately changed? Like when he comes back, the future's different now. We're now technically time travel. Are we just now? Was that the alternate timeline that got changed now, and this one's still staying the same? Or like, I also read that how Biff's like dying almost when he gets out of the DeLorean. That apparently they wanted him to start fading away.
Did you see this?
Marty.
This is a real thing.
Is it?
This is a real thing. You can find this on YouTube. I went and I found it.
It's like a deleted scene?
It's a deleted scene, and it has Biff coming out from behind. He's hiding behind a car, and they take off in the DeLorean exactly as he wanted, and he basically slowly fades over and dies and fades out. And it's actually heartbreaking.
Jesus.
It's actually very, very dark. And like I was like, man, I'm glad they didn't put it in. You should go check it out on YouTube. Find the old Biff fading away deleted scene Back to the Future. Like just search for that. You can find it. It's kind of heartbreaking.
Creepy almost.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because you never see that actually happen. You see it like with Marty. He's like in the first one,
Yes.
he's like fading away. But when you actually see it happen to somebody, you're like, yeah, they probably shouldn't put that in there. Oh,
This is a kid's movie.
yeah, not anymore.
We'll move on to scene 4.
Let's do it.
So Marty, Doc, and an unconscious Jennifer return to 1985 unaware of Biff's actions. They leave Jennifer on her front porch. The 1985 they return to has changed dramatically, with Biff now one of the country's wealthiest and most corrupt men. Doc figures out what happens, and Marty escapes Biff's hotel so the two of them can travel to 1955.
This is a hell of a dad. When Marty climbs into what he thinks is his window, right? And this dad is on it.
Mm-hmm.
This dad comes in, he's like, get the fuck out of here. He's crashing, like hitting shit with his bat and shit. I like this guy.
I like this
He's a
man.
good family man.
Yeah, he's holding on. He loves his family.
Yeah.
that's right.
You tell that real estate company we aren't going to move. We aren't going to be terrorized.
Yeah.
Did you see all the for sale signs in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Biff Tannen Real Estate.
Yeah. He owns everything.
I kind of feel like I'd probably work for Biff Tannen Real Estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably be one of the top agents.
You think you'd be doing okay?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be on the 27th floor with them, but you'd probably be like the 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is also that scene, and then moving forward when he meets Mr. Strickland again. This is where Michael J. Fox is just like at his best.
Yes.
That kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. I want to know. I don't know. Something about him in that type of a situation just makes me like
I
think
agree.
he's one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. Yeah. It's like the frantic, I have to figure this out.
The
Yeah.
gun.
He's gonna shoot. I just want to know what's going on.
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Strickland, I just want to know what's going on.
Even just like watching there's behind the scenes footage of them just filming these scenes, and he's just like on it. Like he's when he's not filming, he's just Michael J. Fox, and when he's in, he's on it. You know, it's so cool to watch. But yeah, I agree. This is like peak Marty, or peak Michael J. Fox, like how we love to see him.
We've talked a lot about how Tom Cruise may be the best on-screen runner and stuff. But I got to tell you, I think Michael J. Fox might be the best on-screen scurrier. That man can scurry anywhere. Just God, he can scurry like the best of them.
He really can. Man.
He's just so all over the place, like wiry, like kind of squirrely about it. It's just crazy. Like when he's running back and forth chasing Doc up and down the road. And
Yes.
oh my gosh, it's crazy.
I love Doomsday Strickland. I love the fact that the student principal relationship has devolved into like warrior gang kind of stuff.
Jeez.
You know, like there's come by and do a drive-by.
The school's been closed for 6 years.
It's high school students doing it. Like it's so funny to me. I don't know.
What does the rest of the world look like? Because he's world renowned.
He is. Yes, he is like the number one person of the world.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is kind of weird if you read some of the stuff on the papers. It says that Nixon's in his 5th term, so something got fucked up there where they're like, yeah, Nixon, you can just keep being president. The Vietnam War's still going on. It said something like looking for a swift end finally to the Vietnam War.
Oh, yeah.
So like you got to assume that Biff has had hands in this somehow. That Biff
Kept
maybe
feeling
like
these.
went to Nixon and was like, well, we're just going to give you a bunch of money and we're going to figure out how to make you president so that you can continue to let me do what I do. And
Somehow we're making money off of Vietnam.
Yes.
So we're gonna
Watergate,
keep that going.
Watergate, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a terrifying. This as a kid, I did not like alternate 1985. They made it real creepy.
I really thought that the future was going to hold more just open carry gun firing and lots of signs and just scariness. I thought it was going to be a lot of,
It's going to be a lot of signs.
A lot of signs just down.
A lot of
everywhere.
weird propaganda everywhere.
A lot of strange propaganda and I thought casinos, pleasure palaces would just be on every corner.
I was kind of hoping for that.
So, you got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good, but I thought this was going to be a bigger problem in my life.
Well,
I got to tell you.
I hate to tell you, but it is kind of like that, just a little bit more subtle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Commentary.
Ooh,
Yeah.
social. Shedding a light on social commentary.
Are we just a movie show? Oh.
Whoa, man, we're getting deep here, huh?
Oh, man.
I hate when they get political.
We've never done anything political in our lives on this show. Every once in a while, AJ does a Trump impression, and we move on.
It's huge.
Which, by the way, apparently, Tom Wilson modeled alternate 1985 off of Donald Trump.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wow.
And to think of when was this is 89? So what was Trump even? He was just
a millionaire,
owning stuff,
owning hotels and whatever, I guess.
About to be in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was preparing for his Home Alone 2 role. He talked to Tom Wilson about that one as well. And then, he was on some magazine covers, Forbes, he was becoming a big deal.
Did you catch the sign? There's a sign in front of the Biff Tannen Museum that says smoking required.
Yes. Yes, I saw that. I was
I want
wondering.
to live there, man.
Stupid little things.
I thought that was going to be one of your guys' props. That's what I thought.
Sean, you want
All
it?
right, I'll change it. Yeah.
Cool. Smoking required.
I don't need the whole bat.
Okay.
Come on.
It was a joke. It was
Have fun.
Remember
Have fun.
Yabos.
Oh, yeah.
Lorraine,
Is this
the floor is yours.
is this the worst? Obviously, the worst Lorraine.
Whoever did that job in 1985, Biff didn't go to the best.
No.
He didn't take her to the best.
Yeah, these things.
These things.
You
want
want
them.
to be.
You can have them.
Took her to the Bruce Campbell Escape from L.A. plastic surgeon. That's a fun reference for people who get that.
Uh-huh.
But
It's fun. Chainsaws.
I remember Leah Thompson. There was an interview with her, and she said this is some of her favorite scenes to do because she liked the dynamic of the abusive relationship, and she was really getting into that. Really thought she had a really cool character that she built. And I think it does show it. It does get kind of dark. It almost skirts to the edge where I'm I don't know if I like this. I don't know if this is fun anymore,
And George being killed off, which
Yeah.
which I guess originally he was going to be in this alternate 1985, but they killed him off due to him not being in the movie and stuff like that. But it just gets terribly depressingly dark at this point. I think as a kid too, I remembered being oh, this movie's so great, and then you'd kind of get to this point and you'd be like. Let's get to the next part. Let's go when they go back to 1955.
But
Yeah.
then he it is saved by the DeLorean, and you're okay, here we are.
Thank God.
Oh, there's Doc.
Yeah, exactly.
It does redeem it right on the edge of where I'm I don't like this.
They got to drive this home to be you don't want to live here.
Yeah.
I know that we had to change the future because
Okay.
Marty's kid might go to jail. This is we got to fucking change the
Wow.
future.
Yeah.
This is a big mistake.
We got to go back in time and change this.
What if them stopping this though? What if they actually devised instead? Doc didn't dive deep into that, and he didn't find this. By the way, he finds the picture, and old or young Biff, I guess, has the almanac in there. How has no one else seen this? Doc's the only one.
No one's ever heard the term almanac.
Almanac.
What does that mean?
Almanac. That doesn't exist in our vocabulary. Huh.
2000. That's the future.
Must be Italian. And so
Farmers should have one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, Ben Franklin, I think, wrote one a long time ago. But so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that, but why wouldn't he just think oh man, we changed this with his kid, and somehow that did it back then too. I don't understand. I like how he did all this research and.
Well, he figured it out from the stuff in the DeLorean. He saw the
it was the cane.
He saw the cane, and he
That's
saw the
right,
receipt. And so then he's like, oh shit. And then he looked in the photo.
Yeah.
And he figured it out. Also, they're just, this movie goes into such great detail that when they're flying away in 2015, they show the time machine control panel. And it says last time departed, November 12th, 1955, 6:38 p.m. If they would have saw that, they would have been like, wait, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Right.
But they never noticed that.
Yeah, it's cool. Such
Just
a cool detail.
Little details, man.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Well, let's move on to the final scene.
Let's do it.
So Marty witnesses Biff receive the almanac and tries to retrieve it. After several fruitless attempts, Marty finally gets the almanac, leaving Biff to crash into a manure truck. Marty burns it, nullifying the changes to the timeline that is caused. Doc hovers above in the time machine, but is struck by lightning, sending him to the year 1885. Marty enlists the help of 1995 Doc. What? Do you think they could have figured out... I mean, they got a time machine at their disposal, right? So couldn't they have just kept going back and trying to figure out the best time to steal it instead of saying, Marty, you got one shot, trail Biff?
Yeah.
Like, they could have just not tried to steal it and been like, okay, this will be the best time on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. Biff actually leaves it in his car for 5 minutes, and that's when we'll go back in time to steal it. Instead of this rigmarole of like just constantly, and Marty's like trying to grab it before like old Biff even gives it to him. We're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
but
like,
how would he know, or how would they know that he was going to leave it somewhere though?
They would, like, Marty would just follow him and like try to find a hole in like, and actually,
and
they
then
don't
you go
even
back
need
again.
They don't even need it today. Like, they just need it before he makes his first bet.
That's true.
That's a good point.
So at some point, Biff's not going to walk around with this thing.
Right.
And so you're just going to spend the next 5 years like waiting for the right time to go, okay, Biff leaves that house, so let's go back in time to an hour ago, and then we'll take it.
Yeah. Sometimes I leave my phone after I take a shit in the bathroom.
Right.
So maybe like that could happen.
That could have been it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he
That's
read
what,
it in
what
there.
else is he reading?
Yeah. What else am I gonna do besides shit?
He's going to go in there. He leaves it in. Marty runs in after him. He's like,
Actually, let's not do this. Let's find somewhere else.
oh, that's the worst.
If anyone in 1955 takes a mean shit, it's Biff.
It's
Yes.
That's
Oh,
a
man,
mean man to take a mean
That man
shit.
is full of protein.
Yeah, protein shits. Yes, you are 100% right.
He is. I'm telling you, like in 1955, like Tom Wilson is a good looking dude.
He is, man.
And then, by the way, this is just a great reminder of how they position these characters in your brain, of how they make you think of them. They make you think of them as older versions of themselves all the time, except for when they go back, and then that's how they actually look. You know, like they actually are they're that young. The actors are.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they do that very well. They never really give you an inch on that.
It's very stark.
Yeah.
Like the difference is very stark where
Yeah.
it's like your brain is almost like, oh, okay, that's normal again.
Yeah.
You know?
Tom Wilson doesn't even look like he does it now as they portray him
Right.
as like that Biff, you know, with like the Neanderthal brow and like all of that stuff. It's not even that.
The
like,
gravelly voice.
yeah. I said, sure. Why not? Yeah, you're going to make me rich, old man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
okay.
and one more thing.
Someday,
Someday.
a kid or wild-eyed scientist.
He's so great in that.
Doc, you're not
He's
going to
so
believe this. We
good.
got to go back to 1955. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
So good.
Well, even I just love we're back into the same movie we saw in the first movie, but we're seeing it from different angles now, like almost as if maybe they had shot some of that from different angles and they had the footage.
Maybe.
But just seeing more of a backstory on Biff, like, doesn't make me hate him as much. Like, I still think he's a villain and he's gonna attempt murder 2 different times here soon. But like he's got if only he did, maybe if he had a father or something and didn't live with his grandma or something.
Gertrude.
Like, yeah, like he seems like he does have good intentions. He just doesn't know how to enact it. And you learn more about that in this now in part 2.
They do give you a hint of like he could change for
Yeah.
the good, you know. But yeah, it's like the choices he makes. Like,
Yep.
like he takes that kid's ball.
I love it.
Launches it up there. I laugh my ass off.
That is
Go
fine.
get it.
That is just fine to do. Anyone out there, kids need to learn a lesson. Is that your ball?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to teach you some social skills. Go up there, ring the doorbell, ask to get your ball back.
Great
I think
move,
he's doing
dude.
a great service for those kids.
Yeah, he's putting money into the local economy with his
Right.
car detailing and stuff
Sandlot
like
kids
that.
needed that kind of encouragement.
That's damn right. They did. Had they had that, it would have been gotten their ball back from Mr. Myrtle a long time.
Totally,
Sure
man.
would have.
Man.
Yeah, man.
I do got to mention too what I thought was a great detail. If you go back and you check out the first one, they did try to incorporate some references. And if you go back, you can see a person while he's doing the storm and like prepping for the storm. You can see somebody on a bike in a black coat with the hat on, riding away
In the first one.
In the first one,
Really?
and they do reference that. They brought that reference back
To make it Doc Brown.
to make it Doc Brown.
Huh.
Which does that mean this loop's been happening forever
So exactly. So what the heck is going on?
Why am I creeped out?
I know. I feel
Why
like
is
I've
that
just
creepy?
been lied to a lot. I think that's what it was. It was either in the first one or the second reference of that coming back around. But yes, it was. I read that and I was like, I don't have time to go back and watch. I really wish I did.
I need to watch Fly the Navigator for the 10th time.
I do.
I like. He's like, you need 50s clothes, something inconspicuous, a Blues Brother. That's fine. And then like when he does give him the sports almanac in the garage, it's pretty convenient that the UCLA game is just getting over with. At what? School is out now, so maybe like 4.
Yeah, was he at
45,
school?
5?
Is this a Saturday or something,
Yeah.
or what's going on here?
I don't know.
That was a real game. It was a real thing.
call.
It was a real call. It was the real way how that game finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
They rattle off too when he's like driving in the final sequence there, like through the tunnel.
Yep.
As before he gets to the tunnel, and he's referencing it. You hear a lot of actual game
Scores.
stats and scores. None of our Iowa teams made it out alive in any of
Yeah.
those.
Iowa
Yeah.
did a little better than Iowa State, though.
Yeah,
Iowa State got blanked, I think.
yeah, got
Pretty
blanked.
typical.
57-0, something like that. Yeah, ridiculous.
But Biff definitely tries to commit murder here at some point, though, at least twice, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're getting chased on the hoverboard here, and he's trying to kill him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
tries to ram him into the wall, and then, I mean, what's going to happen here if he actually does catch up with him in the tunnel?
Have you ever seen a bull trying to shoo off a fly and it's just pissing him off and he'll do anything to get it away from him? That's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
I have this human guy who's flying around me. How is he flying around me in my car while I'm driving? And what's going on? I think Biff is the ultimate humanization of the goons.
You think so?
I think he's up there, man.
Well, Marty could have fixed all of these timelines by letting Biff kill him. Because if Biff kills Marty in 1955, then Biff goes to jail, and he's in jail for life, so he can't make bets anymore. The almanac gets sent away, or puts a Gertrude fucking poops on it.
Yep.
And now Marty doesn't have shithead kids and shithead family members, and he can let Jennifer move on to a better life with someone else. Marty could have fixed everything
Yeah.
by just letting Biff run over him.
So you're right. I mean, you just make the
Maybe
ultimate
that was
sacrifice.
Doc's plan.
Yeah.
There is actually people out there that think Marty was killed in this tunnel, and that Doc had to keep going back in time to like find out where he was and to be there right at the right moment to be able to help him, like a Rick and Morty scenario.
Right.
Like I need to keep. Nope, shit, he died there.
Oh,
Shit, he didn't grab the thing in time. Shit, I'll go back. Like that's a theory out there.
My other thought on that too is that the dinner in future Marty's family and whatnot that Jennifer's watching and whatnot, that is a great rendition of what Marty's life was before the changeover.
Ooh.
And so does that mean
That's
if he would have
OG
stayed?
1985 family.
Yeah. That's what that is. But that's 2015 family. He had the good life now, but his family divulged back to what he was.
Yes.
He used to be in 1985. Like, I don't know why, but that's why I say, like, if he had stayed in the kind of what he didn't feel was the good,
Could he have
would it
actually-
have flip-flopped and he would have been.
You got to imagine, like, if you go back enough or, like, forward enough that you're going to just revert back to where you were,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. It's like it basically it reversed the time. It just pushed out the time frame or like, yeah.
Marty was getting handed anything he wanted because the family had money.
Was
He's like, here's a
successful.
black truck. Have fun. Enjoy it. You've always wanted it.
Yep.
And so he didn't learn any lessons of like, I need to change. He's like, oh, we just go back in time to change things. That's fine.
Well, it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Because he got the black truck because they were successful and he drag races at the end.
Oh, because he wouldn't
He
have
would
had
have
a
had
car.
the truck.
He wouldn't have had a car.
And he wouldn't have been able to do that and make that drag race.
Yep.
Okay, wait a
Dude.
minute. So if Marty would have never gone back in time and changed the future, he would have had a shitty family. But he's what? Months away from graduating? He
Yeah.
could have moved away and
Moving
used
on.
all that anguish and pain to like start his music career and like start a life for himself to be like, I'm going to be better than my parents were. And he could have had a great life. But instead, he changed the past so that now his parents have everything, give him everything he wants. So now he's got this cool black truck, which makes him drag race,
Yep.
which causes all the shit in 2015.
You get everything you want, there's nothing to work for. No work ethic.
Hard.
Going to become nothing.
What's the saying? It's soft men create hard times,
That's
hard
right.
men create soft times. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah. So or like the men who worked hard,
Yes.
like his father, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Worked really hard and created this soft time for Marty.
Yep.
And gave him the truck that led to him drag race.
Which I want to bring up this too, along with Marty. Like we talked about it in the beginning a little bit, but being called a chicken, he changes everything at this point. He's got the almanac, and
Yeah.
he could have just left, but
Yep.
being called a chicken and brought him back, and then himself he knocked. Kind of ironic.
Yeah.
He knocked himself out, and he just took the almanac. You know,
Yeah.
like original 1955 Marty knocked his own ass out for being called a chicken. It's like, dude, your ego, buddy, it's gonna kill
Yeah.
you one of these days.
It is. Man.
Yeah, and then I mean, you get the iconic shot of the DeLorean getting sent off to.
Hey, shooter, want to go to the Sizzler? Remember that?
He's so good. Why is he the same character? in
I
every
don't know.
movie?
I don't know.
What's his name?
McFly. Are you Marty McFly?
How creepy was that as a kid, though?
I
Oh,
was,
oh,
like,
I was
even,
terrified.
Even this time, I
Yeah.
forgot what was going to happen, and I'm like,
I know.
who the fuck is this guy?
Every time I
this
see
guy?
those headlights off in the distance behind him,
Yeah, he's like, are you Marty McFly?
I've got something for you.
I've got something for you.
A letter.
Oh, cool.
I got to think about this too.
Joe Flaherty.
Joe
Yeah.
Flaherty, yes. That whole sequence there too made me think about. Doc put this all into that whole sequence has to live out of him going back to 1885.
Yeah.
And he then went, and that whole timeline has to play out for him to finally come to this moment. I left it there, and 70 years later pass. FYI, 70 years that's crazy to think about too. The Wild West.
The
up
Wild
to,
West to
up to
1955. Since some
There's only
shithead's going to
70
open the
years.
letter. He's like, I'm going to open the letter.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's no. If someone handed you something that said in 70 years this has to be delivered, you'd
Yeah.
be like, cool joke.
Sounds good.
That would never happen.
Fuck you.
Fuck
It's
you.
like whatever.
The post office burned down in 1912. Sorry, everything that was in there burnt down.
Yeah, well, he was the one making jokes about the post office not being efficient.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's pretty damn efficient at that point in
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
Huh?
I deliver shit, and I would not want to be out there at that time
No.
doing that. Come on now.
Western Union.
Well, you got anything else you guys want to talk about on this
Well,
one?
it just sucks. We have to wait till 1999 to see the third one.
I know.
Or 1990, sorry.
1990.
Yeah, it was a fun joke until I fucked it up.
Hey, it goes faster than modern day sequels, though, Shaun.
Yeah, true.
Here's my question to you guys just to wrap this up. Could you watch this without it automatically going into number 3?
I had it on DVD.
Did you? Okay, but you didn't feel compelled to watch number 3.
I did not. I did not have the time.
Okay, that's fair. Shaun?
No, I'll talk about it in our modern day ratings.
Okay. I was just going to say, like, for me, it was really hard for me to not feel that just compelled to watch the third one. I could never make it through it, but yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to let it start.
Honestly, I think if they wouldn't have showed me what happens in 3, I might have considered clicking it. But instead, I'm like, well, yeah, there it is. Wild West. Cool.
I kind of got it.
I got the gist of it. Yeah, everything's great.
It's fair.
Mary Steenburgen's in it.
Cool. This is great. Well, everybody, we've dissected Back to the Future 2 with a modern eye. We need to talk about it with our modern day ratings. We've stripped away the nostalgia. AJ, what do you got, man?
You strip it away, and you're left with what is a really flashy filler. I know that's a bold statement. I do enjoy it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I still love watching it, but I love it. I love it for all the future aspects, and there is a point that you kind of lose it, like you're saying, Mike. You kind of lose it when they go to the bad future again, or present day, and then it's just really, it's also really tough waiting for that to come back around. I feel like it's just a premise. It's just we're trying to get to what our original idea was, which was going to the West, Old West, and I still really enjoy it. I still have a lot of fun watching it. I want to watch this just like any of the Back to the Futures. I want to watch it in standard definition. I don't want to watch it remastered. I want to watch it in its, original format and everything. And if I get to do that, I feel much better. But there are a couple things. Some of the makeup is a little bit tchotchke almost when it comes down to it. At this point, rewatching the remasters. So overall, though, I had a lot of fun. I watched it a lot, and I'm not upset about that. I think I'm going to give this now modern day. Oh man, I think I'm going to give this a modern day 7.8.
7.8. Shaun, what about you, man?
I think this movie is still a blast. I love the aspect of it, and I can see how, like, one would think that this is just kind of filler to get to the third, or it's just kind of like a money grab. Oh, they're doing the same movie over again. But I think it's a cool way to look at it. I even find the most exciting parts being like the dystopian future part, and then when they get to him having to grab the almanac from Biff, I think those are the most exciting parts for me. And I find the future parts almost a little boring, where it's just like, oh, there's the Michael Jackson horror.
We're in the future.
Yeah.
We're in the future.
I think I can't watch the first one without watching this one. I think that they are one movie to me.
Cool.
I really do, because it starts right away. However, Back to the Future Part 1 is just a slice piece, its own thing.
Yes.
It is a masterpiece, and nothing will ever change that. And just for me personally, I do think that those are, like, Part 1 and Part 2 are like a one movie for me, and I want to watch the second one after watching the first one. But like I said, I think the first one is a more complete movie. Yeah. I gave Part 1 an 8.5. I'm going to give this an 8.0.
8.0 for the Shauners. Man, I love this movie. I just love anything Back to the Future. I think it's the best trilogy of all time. That's my opinion. Don't hate me for that. I think they're so well done, and they're so smart. And I just don't like this one as much as the first one. As a kid, I think I probably liked it more. Upon rewatch, little bit, didn't enthrall me as much, but it was still, dude, like, Shaun, you nailed it. Like, number one can be its own movie by itself, but this one has to be, like, placed with one, or it has to be placed with three, or it's not a standalone movie.
Right.
Where one is like a standalone movie.
Well, like,
they could have ended
absolutely.
If you're talking about like Temple of Doom, like, that's a standalone movie,
Yeah, exactly. So I can't give it what I gave the original Back to the Future, but I can give it an 8.85. I still think this movie's fantastic. Executive producer Bud Larsen says, when I told my son we get to review Back to the Future 2, he was ecstatic. Family movie night. We own the trilogy on Vudu. The movie starts off with the scene from the end of part 1. The first thing you notice is Marty's girlfriend Jennifer is different. After researching the movie a little bit, actress Claudia Wells put her acting career on hold because her mom was diagnosed with cancer. Big props to Claudia. That is awesome that you pointed that out. We liked in the future you could watch 9 channels at once and make pizza in 2 seconds. We are with you. It's like when my son is playing PS4, watching his tablet, and listening to music all at the same time. They almost predicted the World Series winner off by a year.
Damn.
I had to laugh when Biff had the cover of the almanac over Ooh La La magazine. We used to do that with Playboys when we were younger.
Nice.
This is my favorite movie of the trilogy. Well, hate to say it, I never got my hoverboard, and as far as I know, we don't have flying cars either. There are a few fan theories that say Doc had to go back in time multiple times to save Marty from dying, like I was saying there. Like when Marty jumps off of Biff's building and when Doc saves Marty with the flag line when Biff crashes in the manure truck. Jumping off of that building could have easily been like, oh, shit, I didn't have it right, and he died. And you have to go back in
Maybe
time.
he was intending just to end it all. Who knows?
Yeah.
Doc's like, no, you can't.
Not yet.
Most punchable face, we were all on the same page. Griff, he was a dick to his grandpa and pretty much everyone else in a short period of time. Prop from the movie would obviously be the hoverboard. Motherfucker.
Makes sense.
Got to be.
Modern day rating, 9.48.
Wow.
Damn.
So we made up, we kind of went wide on the spectrum there, but we come up with a middle thing. That is an 8.53. 8.53 for a modern day rating of all the movies we've done. Woo! Whew, Shaun, that's tied at number 15 with The Shining.
The Shining.
Slightly worse than the Raiders of Lost Ark, and slightly better than Stand By Me. That's where we have this.
How is it of the Temple of the Doom?
We have not done Temple of the Doom yet. So for reference, Back to the Future 1 is at number 5. This is at number 15. I feel fine about that.
I do too. Yeah. I feel like I may have gone maybe a little bit too harsh on it, but I have to stand by it. I have to stand by it.
You and Bud sort of kind of canceled each other out of there. So it makes sense.
So.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week for Flight of the Navigator, followed by Waterworld.
Yes.
Tragedy.
Also,
Shit show.
if you are new to the podcast,
Jesus. What?
Shaun,
The production was a shit show.
Spoilers.
We will get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. If you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Major League. That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Get you in the baseball summer mood. Don't forget, we have a voicemail call, 319-804-9596. Leave us some feedback. Whatever.
Mikey, Shaun, AJ, how the heck are y'all doing?
Great.
This is Davis Reed. We're calling here from Charlotte, North Carolina. I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of the podcast. Relatively new listener, but I've listened to a ton of the podcasts on the way into work and out of work every day. So I'm pretty much caught up for the most part. You've I think at this point just dropped Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I'm so pumped that you did that. Hopefully we can get some more Indiana Jones in there for a little bit. Temple of Doom and Last Crusade action. But the one request I do have, if I may say so myself, you've mentioned it before, but Ghostbusters 2, you have to do it. My favorite character, maybe ever, and this is a little bit, maybe a little bit controversial. Janusz Poha, a good Peter McNichol acting credit right there. He absolutely steals his movie away. If you haven't seen it, please, anyone to go watch it and just go watch Janusz Poha and watch him do the things he does. It is phenomenal. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to call in, say hello. 5-star ratings, of course, on the Spotify. But I just wanted to say I love you guys and appreciate you making the way into work and out of work a little bit more easy for all of us. All right, bye.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for that call. Davis? Davis was his name?
Yeah, I never remember the name.
I think it was Davis. Yeah, thanks, man, for giving us a call. I think we might be spurring on a sequel kind of tinge here. Who knows?
Kind of getting to that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to start revisiting some of these, bringing some of these back around. I mean,
Ghostbusters 2.
Or going to the originals like Alien and Terminator.
Oh,
That's
you're
true.
right. We got to do that
true.
too. They had a chance to vote on Ghostbusters 2 in our little vote here, and that was the last place item. So I'm just throwing it out there.
yeah, that's a shock though too.
That's a shocker.
It
That's
will
a
be
shocker.
done. It will be done.
Wow, guys, I'll tell you what's not a shocker is our love for you.
Wow.
when you're rating and reviewing and listening to this show. We really do appreciate it so much. If you can, drop us 5 stars, a rating of some kind, and leave us a review so we can read it. It always brightens our day when we get to read those reviews. Catch us on the social media at Confused Breakfast. And by all means, find us here on YouTube as well. We're having fun making jokes that aren't necessarily audio-based, but, looks like Shaun's jerking off bat. So
Kind of fun.
cool.
Huh?
Check us out on YouTube.
You can see us jerking off spats at confusedbreakfast.com. And you can get some merch there. You can get merchandise with shirts. You can get koozies, and you can get jerk off bats. You can also go to that same website and see our ratings of our individual ratings of the movies we've done and our collective ratings as a show. Goodbye. Love you.
And you must go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to support the podcast, directly sponsor us. We are a part of the Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids, producing our show, uploadmediagroup.com. We got Craig on the controls.
There he goes.
And we are members of the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network, cloud10.fm. Go check it out. Dude, the Wild West? Who would have ever thought that they'd go to the Wild West?
It's just such a juxtaposition. I love the Wild West genre, and then to make it like an 80s tinge kind of movie with Doc and Marty.
Oh my God.
It's super
In
fun.
here, we drink whiskey.
Yeah.
Cedar Ridge whiskey. Hey.
Mad Dog's fucking mustache.
Man, and
mad.
he is mad.
And
Oh.
he's mad.
I gotta talk about Mary Steenburgen in this movie, you
Oh.
guys.
Yeah.
She's such a welcome cast character into this.